Welcome to Coffee with Congress, a new podcast by the Veterans Education Project, where we truly get to know members of Congress and key government officials. Every episode, we ask questions that have absolutely nothing to do with politics, policy, or legislation.
Yeah, nothing to do with their actual jobs. So instead, we focus on getting to know the real person behind the office. On this episode, we got to know Congressman Dusty Johnson. He's a freshman Republican from South Dakota.
Listen in now as we speak with him in his D.C. office.
All right, so I'm going to ask you first about something I have read about recently. You guys have the world-famous mashed potato wrestling competition.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Can you tell me about this a little bit?
Well, it's way grosser than you think it's going to be. So there's this town in Clark in South Dakota. It's a great town.
Okay.
Maybe 1,400 people. And every town's got to have a thing, right?
Okay.
So Clark's thing is potatoes.
Okay.
And they used to have a potato chip factory which made great potato chips. But they bring out like a kiddie swimming pool. They fill it with mashed potatoes. They have people come and wrestle. You, in your mind, think that there's a chance this is going to be hot. It's not. It's disgusting.
How do you win in this competition?
No, there are no winners. No one wins. None of the participants, none of the spectators. You are picking mashed potato out of your ears and your belt line for days.
I feel like we need to ask a request to be invited to this mashed potato competition.
No, don't do it. That's a good idea.
So my question to you is, what's the next food-based feat of strength that South Dakota is going to be rolling out?
Well, it would have to be corn related.
Okay.
Corn related.
Now, we're not as much as Iowa or Illinois or Indiana, but we grow a lot of corn. It's
right.
It's now I come from Mitchell. My town is Mitchell, which is the home of the world's only corn palace.
Oh yeah.
Only corn palace.
Oh yeah, corn palace.
Don't say it like you haven't heard it before. You're embarrassing
it's
yourself.
The world famous.
It's the world famous.
Corn palace.
Yeah.
Hashtag corn palace.
And if you guys haven't done it, this interview is over. You haven't done your homework. You didn't go.
I know about the corn palace. So don't you worry. So what do you think? So corn, what can we do with corn that you have some sort of feat of strength with?
Well, it probably. It seems like a corn on the cob eating contest.
Oh, okay.
All this endurance eating is a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
What about
Let's bring Joey Chestnut out. Let's bring Kobayashi out. What can we get done?
Let's have them shuck the corn as well before they can eat it.
Yeah, will people come and watch that?
I don't know. It's part of the process. They get like 30, corn on the cob, and they have to shuck it and eat it.
Sure. Sounds like a fucking great time.
That's good. This is a complete. I had not thought of this question. I just realized, as Marylanders, we actually love corn too. That's a big part of our cuisine as well. Especially we put it with crab boils and things like that. Well, how do you guys prepare corn? Boil, grill? What do you guys do?
Well, my bride really likes to boil it. I'm fine with corn on the cob.
Yeah.
It's great. You get some good sweet corn. But we don't really grow sweet corn in South Dakota.
Oh.
It's all feed corn. It's not for human consumption. We're giving it to the big
that's
boys.
a bummer. Oh, sweet corn's
Well, no, but we eat a lot of sweet corn. It just doesn't get grown in South Dakota.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
Kobayashi it would be more fun if he would come and feed corn.
That would be, because that's way more muscling that thing down. That's a good point. All right, so the Badlands is sometimes called the playground of the dinosaurs. So, my question to you, T-Rex is out in the schoolyard. What game is he terrible at, and what game is he going to be very good at?
Well, that's tetherball, right?
You think he's good at that or bad at
Terrible.
Terrible.
Right. He shouldn't even try.
No tetherball
because
for T-Rex.
You would kick his butt
arm.
so hard.
Right.
What would he be good at?
Yeah. What's his?
I don't think T-Rex is built for the modern day playground.
No.
Too arm dependent on everything.
Right.
So what if he got creative? Like with a tetherball, if he whacked it with his tail, I feel like he might have a shot.
That's not what the tail's built for.
No.
You're going against nature's laws.
That's right.
And I will have
nothing to do with this abomination of tetherball with a tail. I like that. All right, I got all right, here we go. So this is a tough one. This is the hot seat one. Here we go. So you got the Chislik. Is I saying that right?
Yeah.
You got the Kuchin?
Kukin. Yeah. Harder consonants. Yeah.
And then the Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. All right. So where are you going? Which one are you picking? You have one
Wait. I think that the people listening.
You know what it is?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, so yeah, let's describe it quickly. Chislic is it's deep fat fried meat. It's most Chislic. Oh, this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's deep fat fried meat. Lamb is most traditional, but beef is more common now. If you go in and order Chislic at a restaurant,
Are you going lamb or beef?
I think beef is tastier.
Okay.
But I don't listen. I can be a traditionalist.
All right.
You're always trying to drive wedges.
Everything is a line. It's all binary, sir.
And then kuchen is a dessert which is delicious, very heavy, very fatty, creamy. It's sort of like a thick custard in a pie kind of a thing. Delicious, lots of different flavors. And then
what is Rocky? Tell us what Rocky Mountain oyster is.
Rocky Mountain oysters are bull testicles. Not on the bull.
That went in another direction than I was thinking.
Yeah, you haven't really lived until you've eaten.
Okay.
They're fried and battered, and they come with a dipping sauce.
Well, I think that's a good segue.
Well, which one are you going to go with? You got to pick one.
Well, if you're looking for, Rocky Mountain oysters are last.
Okay.
Chislic is probably first, but kuchen is a really strong.
Chislic sounds delicious. Is there Chislic served in the district anywhere?
Oh yeah.
Where can we get some Chislic?
Almost any place in South Dakota.
No, I'm saying here.
In the district.
Here? No. Not
the DC district. Yeah.
The District of Columbia.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know that.
Oh.
I don't know that. I wouldn't get Chislic here. They don't know what they're doing.
I see.
All right. So now we're going to kind of transition into kind of a more personal question,
more personal than testicles.
Well,
this is really. You guys are
really. That's right.
All right. So a lot of people really love dispensing advice or give advice. So I have kind of an interesting spin on that. What advice would you give right now to your 20-year-old self?
You're just going to lock me up here. I feel like I've had a really charmed life. I'm a nice guy. I've been really nice to people, but the times I feel, be nice, I guess would be my advice. I've been nice 99.9% of my life, but that 1 in 1,000 when you snap at your sons or you snap at your bride, those are the times where you sort of think, gosh, I should not have lost my temper. We should just all be nicer people. And the other thing would be, don't have the third beer.
Don't have the third beer. Okay.
You don't need it. No good comes
Possible
from the third
slogan
beer.
there. Yeah. I'm going to roll into one other question then as a follow-up. So obviously we're a Facebook, Twitter generation. So if you could put one quote on a billboard in Times Square for the entire world to see, only one quote, what would it be and why?
It would have something to do with freedom and liberty, and not to get too schmaltzy, but I do think as a globe we're trying to have a conversation about the right role of government in people's lives, and I want to go back and read some stuff from the founders and just choose something that connected with people today, but made them realize that we've been given this unbelievable blessing of free choice. Let's not smother it. So I don't have one, but I think I'm excited as a globe for us to have that national conversation, that international conversation.
It's good. Love it. All right, so there's some wonderful protected animals in South Dakota that call South Dakota home. You have the bison, you have the black-footed ferret, and every day I walk down the street, I'm accosted by people like, you have to ask Congressman Dusty, what animal does he resonate with? Is he a bison man or is he a ferret man?
Well, the ferret is really controversial in South Dakota.
Oh, why is this?
Right. Well, the introduction of the black-footed ferret into South Dakota, people hate the prairie dogs. Prairie dogs, bad. Ugly varmints, disgusting, cause a lot of damage to cattle and horses.
But they're cute.
They're not that cute. They're rats. They're rats without tails. They're gross, and they do a ton of damage. You just think, we love and I'll speed this up because I know this isn't entirely funny, but now you're really picking at my scabs.
No,
here.
let's hear it.
We got this beautiful grazing land, right? And this is where cattle and bison and horse can get sustenance. And these prairie dogs, like a swarm, will go over and just turn it all into dust. They have these holes. You think about a beautiful horse you're out riding. That horse steps in that hole. That'll break that leg. That kills the horse. Horse is not going to come back from that. So the black-footed ferret and the prairie dog they're related heavily. That's controversial. So my answer is the bison. It's beautiful, majestic, delicious meat, very warm fur. This is a great animal.
I love it. Bison man.
All right.
So let's.
And it's tied in with the Great American West.
Right.
Yeah, this is the romance of America's history.
Absolutely. So I need the honest truth. You are the congressman from South Dakota. We need the truth. What's in the Mount Rushmore? Tell me what's in there.
Well, Nicolas Cage told me once.
Okay. Yes.
But I was sworn to secrecy.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't tell anybody
We won't tell anybody.
I will let you know.
Okay, tell us what's back there.
It's hot dish.
I knew it. I don't even know what that is. It sounds like another delicious South Dakota.
The Northern Great Plains, the Norwegian Lutherans love their hot dish. These are casseroles.
Okay.
Oh.
But if you go to a Lutheran luncheon, the ladies will bring their hot dish.
All right.
And it's delicious.
I like the hot dish. Well,
They put too many peas in them.
Now for a little hotter question, but more on the get to know you side of things. So, our generation learns and then often changes its mind. And I'd like to ask you, what is something that you have changed your mind on, and why?
I love this question.
Yeah, two answers. Well, I'll just give you one. Probably criminal justice reform. I used to be a pretty, the old school conservative mindset, which is people will commit less crime if you lock them up and throw away the key.
Right.
And that's just not really supported by evidence in any meaningful way. And so after digesting the evidence for years, I had to come to the conclusion that, you got to catch people. You got to hold them accountable. That means punishing them. But that the best way to do that is not generally through severity of sentences. And so that is an area where I think you see a national... People want to paint conservatives as maybe a little more rigid in their thinking. The reality is this is an area where there's been remarkable evolution. And so states like Texas, very conservative states, have done and South Dakota, sweeping criminal justice reform. For me, when I go to the women's prison, the saddest thing is to go in the back area of the women's prison and there's this great, beautiful house and it's painted fun colors and there are all these toys in here. And you think, why is there this great house in the women's prison? And so when kids come to visit their mom, they've got someplace to hang out that doesn't look like a prison. And so when we're locking up people, we're locking up moms and dads, and that's making Junior a lot more likely to get into trouble and have intergenerational. And so, let's catch people, let's hold them accountable, but let's do it in a way that actually rehabilitates and makes for safer communities.
I really like that. I'm going to actually lead into one more question that I think you're really transparent, and we really appreciate that. It seems like you're well studied. So, what is the book that you've given to other people the most, and why?
Probably Freakonomics, which is kind of an older book now, maybe it came out 15 years ago, but it dovetails perfectly well into the question you just asked, or it's connected to. Freakonomics really takes data and uses it to disprove this kind of conventional wisdom that we all know to be true.
Right.
And it's an eye-opener. And there are a lot of things that people in Washington, D.C. know for sure that just is not true.
Okay.
All right, so if you could, WWF style, every time you walk into a room, you have a theme song playing. What's your theme song? Every time you go anywhere, this will be playing right behind you.
Yes, like it's like a montage in a movie. Like, this is your Rocky IV scene where he's training to fight the Russian. Like, what is the music that is going on in the background?
Well, I wouldn't choose this, but I want to give you a little historical context. My name is Dusty Johnson. A lot of my friends in high school called me Dirty, and so the song Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap was often played at high school dances when I would arrive. A little embarrassed.
You had a theme song in high school? That's pretty awesome.
Cool.
It maybe only happened 2 or 3 times.
And you paid somebody.
But it's no, I was not a fan.
No, you didn't like it.
No, the song's not a very nice song.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, what would your theme song be?
Something upbeat, something fun. Something. I'm just an old man, right? I'm in my 40s, so I don't really know new music. Black Eyed Peas. Let's get it started. Something to get people pumped up, right?
I like it. Okay. All right. What is something that you personally believe in that other people think is insane?
This is a really good question. Because I do have a few beliefs that I will argue with my friends about where they just think it's a little bonkers.
Yeah, let's just hear it.
Well, I would probably get rid of the designated hitter. Now, that's not huge. That's not terribly controversial.
That's good. That's a good one.
I think it drains a lot of the beauty and the poetry out of the game.
Well, and also the strategy. I mean, managing your bullpen is pretty important with the DH.
Yes.
Or not as important when you have a DH, as it say.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people think that college athletes should be paid. I do not. That sort of is a developing opinion. Okay. I mean, I'm a sports junkie, and I'm willing to have opinions on sports that are maybe a little bit not quite falling in line.
Right. Okay. Sports opinions. I like that.
I think we got time for one or two more. Yeah. You got one, and then I got a rapid fire question, and then at the end, we're going to give you some time to talk about whatever you want.
Would you rather be forced to fight one coyote, or it's the state animal, coyote, or...
And it's coyote. Don't say coyote.
I'm sorry.
You're going to make
That's very coastal.
Between this and the Corn Palace debacle, I'm nervous.
Or 20 ringneck pheasants. Which would you rather face off with?
The pheasants they could scratch you, but you could do a lot of damage.
So you've chosen to fight 20 ring-necked pheasants. How are you going to fight them?
Oh, punch and kick. Because they're not great. They're not great flyers,
right?
And so they fly. They do a great job, but they're not. I mean, if they were looking to hurt me, I would so own them. And then they're not. Number one, a coyote would be pretty easy for me to beat too.
Oh, wow.
I'm kind of bad.
Yeah.
But I have killed hundreds of ring-necked pheasants.
Okay.
And so they know the word is out about me.
They're already coming in intimidating.
Right. I feel like if I knock back 2 or 3 of them,
the rest of them are going to get
they're out of there.
All right. I like it. All right. So the next set of questions are going to be...
And I have not killed hundreds with my hands and feet. I've killed them with a shotgun.
Yeah. You haven't killed hundreds with your hands and feet yet.
Right.
That's next.
So the next set of questions is going to kind of be like a rapid fire set of questions. So just the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. What flower best describes you?
This is terrible. I don't know.
Oh, come on. You got to give an answer.
I don't even know flowers. Tulip.
Okay. What'd you eat for breakfast?
I had a Chick-fil-A biscuit.
Chicken biscuit. What gift of less than $100 has impacted your life the most?
Oh, it's got to be a book.
Book. That. What nickname do you have that maybe only your mother or your close friends call you?
Dirty.
Okay, and who's the person that comes to mind when I say the following word? Successful.
Somebody, Jacqueline Johnson. That's my wife.
All right.
That is so pandering. I love it. All
right, last one. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I wanted to be president. You couldn't pay me $100 million to do that job now.
$100 million?
$100 million?
No, I would not. Although my skill set is a great fit for Congress, I think you need a pretty drastically different skill set to be president of the United States. Mm-hmm. It is, the job of being president 40 years ago compared to today is a different job. And I mourn for anybody who does that job.
I mean, you look at the before and after pictures of anyone who's the president, and they just look like they've aged so much more than the 8 years.
Well, it's different. I mean, the skills to be a good CEO, a good governor, a good mayor, those things I feel like I understand.
Right.
President is a uniquely complicated job in the modern era, and regardless whether you're Democrat or Republican, we should all, if we pray, we should be saying a little prayer for whoever is in the White House on any given night. That job sucks.
All right. Well, we're coming up on the end of our time. Do you have any more questions?
I do have one more.
All right, so let's ask the one more question.
Okay, so what TV shows are you watching these days?
Modern Family, Game of Thrones.
Okay, all right. So
Modern Family with my wife, Game of Thrones not with my wife.
This follow-up question, Game of Thrones would be too easy, so let's go with Modern Family. Of the characters in Modern Family that I know that you love, who, if they were a real-life person, would be insufferable?
Most of the characters are insufferable, right?
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Is there one that you feel like, oh my, this one just gets under my skin?
Oh, Cam's a lot to handle. He's very high maintenance. I don't like high maintenance people.
Got it. All right. Well, you got through the gauntlet, so the floor is yours. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. Well, just for 30 seconds, I would probably say when you start to make a list of the things that make America great, all of those characteristics are found in the Guard, right? And reserves too. I come from a National Guard family, and people learn how to be great, not just great soldiers, but great human beings in the Guard. And I wish more people did it.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I think we've met the time hack that was requested.
Thanks for listening to Coffee with Congress. It was a really great time getting to know Congressman Dusty Johnson. And I guess he really doesn't like mashed potatoes all that much. Subscribe to our podcast anywhere you get your podcast. We are everywhere. Leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing. Remember, the Veterans Education Project is always preaching possibilities.